Welcome to the Irrigation Insights Podcast, where we talk about the business of irrigation. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your co-host, Ben. No. Welcome back.
Yeah.
What you got over there? I see you got a bunch of shit over there.
Yeah, I got this big packet. This is something I found. Somebody posted. I read through it. It's got a lot of good information.
Hey, I got a question.
What's up?
Is this all you do? Like, you were on vacation for a week, and you've been back a day, and you got like a packet that looks like a state test. Like,
Yes. Yeah, I was reading this on vacation. I saved it. How home service businesses are getting 3 times more leads without spending on ads. It's a lot of basic stuff, but there's a couple of things in here that we aren't doing. Something we're not doing, but we're not doing exactly the way they say.
I thought you said we were doing everything right.
Well, there's just a couple of things they're doing a little different. So I think we're gonna look into it. I'm gonna change it up a little bit.
All right. Well, I guess let's get serious.
Yeah. How was it while I was away?
It was great. You weren't here.
Yeah. Sure, I worked every day on vacation, just about.
What were you doing?
Working with underwriters, working with the bank, my accountants.
You think somebody that plans a vacation would know that they need to get all that stuff taken care of before they leave for vacation?
I couldn't get it done in time. I had to do payroll. We're getting a new warehouse, so I was going back and forth with a realtor every day or something. So
Michael needs a new iPad, by the way.
Does he?
Yeah.
He was telling me what's going on with his.
He said it keeps shutting off, but he called me. He called me Friday and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you because it'll get done if I tell you, but I need a new iPad."
Yeah, he was telling me something about it wasn't holding a charge or something like that.
Yeah, I just told him to go up there and get like a super expensive one on your card.
Is he gonna go get one?
No, I just told him. I told him it wouldn't get done till you got back anyway.
All right, yeah, we'll go get one. I'm sure.
Yeah,
we'll get it done. Yeah,
I know we're not live, Michael, but you'll get one in a month.
Yeah, I'm getting one.
Anyway, what you got in that packet there? I
got a bunch of stuff. I was thinking about going through this Facebook post. There's this long Facebook thread, bunch of.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if we save the Facebook post for the end, it gives somebody something to look forward to. Because I'm reading a couple lines in what I see here, and it looks like I'm ready to take a nap.
On this or that?
That.
Oh,
we read that first, so I can take a nap, and then we'll go over the cool stuff.
Oh, okay.
That way, the viewers have something to look forward to.
All right. Well, let's do this. So this is just, how to get more leads without necessarily spending more money.
Like organic leads.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is about paid ads. This is just, I guess, maybe taking you down the process of step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of getting leads. So
is it going to be like a step-by-step process? Oh, it is, actually.
Yeah, actual step-by-step. So we're going to start with the customer journey.
That's a big one.
Yeah, 78% of customers find home services on Google. They look at reviews first, then your website, then your price. You're going to need 40 plus reviews and at least a 4.2 rating to be considered. And response time matters more than price.
How do they track your response time, by the way? Is that just the response time in where you're replying to their review, or is that response time as in once you get your calls tracked?
Well, on the Google business profile, they're going to look at if a customer clicks call on the profile, they can see how many rings it took you to answer. They can see if you missed a call, what's your average answer rate. If you got 30 calls and out of those 30 calls you missed 3, then they know how many calls you're missing, how long it's taking you to answer. They used to do messages on there. I don't think they're doing messages anymore. Yeah, they got rid of the messages. So they were tracking that. Then you got, if you're doing ads on Google, they're tracking the response times on there. So you have to make sure you're answering the phone and quickly within
a few rings,
yeah,
probably
3 rings. So that's why I said a few episodes ago, if you're a solo guy, I think the first step is hiring a CSR, because you can't do that if you're in the field. If you're working on a leak and somebody's calling you, are you stopping right then and answering within 3 rings?
You remember that other company that we worked with? I can't tell you how many times I called that guy and he finally answered, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm in the middle of something. I'm talking to you on my watch," and all you could hear is just gurgling. And I'm like, "Is that how are you running a business like that?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, at least he was answering. But yeah, I mean, you can't, if you're doing that, you can't, your booking rate's going to be terrible. You're not really offering the best service to the customer that way. So I think the CSR is the first hire you should do, and that'll be the best thing that's going to help you, because then all you have to worry about is doing a good job, and they just have to worry about booking the call, answering quickly, and booking the call. So that's the typical path. Customer's going to notice a problem. They're going to search on their phone on Google 8 out of 10 times, look at several businesses in just a few minutes, look at all of their profiles, look at their ratings, look at their recent reviews and their photos. 92% of customers won't even consider a business with less than 4 stars or too few reviews. The final decision usually comes down to how good the reviews are, how fast the business responds, and whether they serve their area. So with the Google Business Profile, proximity is a big thing.
Yeah. Well, some of this stuff is pretty, I guess, really, to me, it should be common sense for everybody, right? Like, when's the last time you went on Amazon and just bought something? Because I don't just do that anymore. I go and read the reviews, and if I see 20 reviews saying, "Hey, this doesn't fit," or "Hey, this is a piece of junk," I'm not buying it.
Right, yeah.
Even if it's got 100 reviews and 20 of them are 5-star, but then there's 80 of them that say no, bad quality, no, it doesn't fit, customer service is horrible. Like I've not bought something just because there was 2 reviews out of 200 that said bad customer service.
Yeah.
Because because when I see that, I think, okay, that's got to be, those 2 people probably got, a bad. Like it's bad, there's a quality control issue, and they were one of the few unlucky people that got one of the products that probably shouldn't have passed quality control, and they needed actual help with it, and they couldn't because the customer service was bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be stuck with I don't want to be the third unlucky person that gets stuck with the bad product because I can't get a hold of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to look at the recent reviews, and I think, to your point, they're going to look at, like, I'm going to look at recent. I want to see, like, the last 10. How recent were they? If it goes from 2 weeks ago to 6 months ago in 5 reviews, that's not a great sign.
No, not at all.
And then I want to look at also, I'm going to go from recent to lowest rated. That'll be my next step. And I want to see the bad ones right away. And so you need to respond to the bad ones, because people are definitely reading them.
Trust factors. Yeah. That's important.
Let's see. People care more about feeling safe with their choice than saving money.
Yeah, as much as everybody on these Facebook pages will argue that, I think that's true.
Mm-hmm. This is why businesses with strong online reputations earn 58% more revenue than those without, even with higher prices. And gosh, it's like people on the irrigation pages will defend to the death cheap prices.
And that's great. And that's great for when your business is starting out. Like, if you want to start out with cheaper prices just to get your name out there, just to get going, yeah, that's fine. But you can't just keep doing that.
No, yeah, if you're going to start out being cheap, fine, but get reviews, build yourself up to that way you can grow out of that. People will be 10 years in and haven't raised their prices or have barely raised them.
Or went down.
Yeah. So this is interesting. An ROI comparison. Reviews, minimum lead cost, 0. Conversion, 15 to 25%. Minimum investment, $50. I'm not really sure where they got. I mean, maybe from like a software, review generating software or something. ROI after 1 year, 650%. This is best for long-term growth. Local SEO, minimum lead cost, $15. And this is an average, too, I think it says. An average across 15 different industries of home services. So let me take that with what you will. Local SEO, $15. Conversion rate, 12 to 18%. Minimum investment, $500. ROI, 320% after 1 year. Best for service area dominance. And that would be like your website and your business profile. Google search, pay-per-click. I'm assuming that's what that's talking about.
Yeah, well, we talked about pay-per-click in the last episode, and that really wasn't worth much.
Yeah, not in the winter, not in the slow times, but in the peak times, when it's busy and there's plenty of leads, minimum cost per lead, $35, conversion 8 to 12%. That's an average. Our conversion is higher, but everything has to be really dialed in. Minimum investment, $2,000, ROI, 220. That's good for specific services. I agree, because you have to target keywords for that. LSA, minimum cost per lead, 25. It's most likely going to be higher, most likely going to be over $30. Conversion, 15 to 20%. That should be way higher. Minimum investment, $1,000. ROI, 280%. There's no best for category. Well, best for emergency services. I mean, you're going to get it. It's like a catch-all. LSA is like a catch-all. You'll get everything there. Facebook ads, $50 with a 5 to 8% conversion rate.
That's pretty low.
It is low. Yeah, and that's if everything's dialed in.
The fact that it looks like the worst percentage here is direct mail. The fact that that's the next thing, the second worst thing, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, direct mail, and I do agree that is 1 to 5%. But Facebook is good for visual services, which, like we've talked about, you got to have something to showcase.
Yeah. Well, and like I've tried to explain to people before, they're like, oh, I don't, we need to do Facebook stuff. Like, yeah, but how many people, when they have an issue with their house, like, oh, I need to go to Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook's all about showcasing something and making sure you know how to build that funnel.
Sprinkler repair near me.
Yeah, if you're running Facebook ads, Facebook groups might be a little different, but Yelp ads, which I thought was interesting.
Well, to cut you off a little bit, even the Facebook groups, a lot of them, like, let's just go ahead and spill where we are. Like Rockwallian, they only let you post. You can only advertise your business every Monday. So like you can't just go in Rockwallian and just put up a post like, hey, we're running this, like right now, like, hey, let's say you wanted to do like 70% off Christmas lights because it's the day before Christmas. Like, hey, maybe somebody's waited till now. I want to run a 70% special. Well, you can only do that on Monday, which here it's Monday. You could do that, but you don't. Everybody knows not to go on Rockwallian on a Monday because every Monday there's like 100 posts by like 9 o'clock in the morning. And they start at like 6. There's like 100 posts of people just self-promoting, and people just don't look at it.
Yeah, it's flooded with advertisements.
Yeah, it's like a traffic. It's like when they put the signs up on the road that say, "Hey, right lane closed tonight." Everybody goes a different way.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
So
yeah, on the days that those groups do allow advertisements, that's
everybody
all
knows.
You see.
Yeah, everybody knows. Okay, I'm going to go watch my show or something.
Yeah, that's really all you see. Yeah, it's tough. Yelp, which I know everybody hates Yelp. I've never done it, but I just heard about a dude talking about how the only thing he had was Yelp ads and a website, and he was keeping himself busy, and he was talking about wanting to expand into Google. So Yelp might be the scum of the earth, but if he can keep one or two trucks busy,
I thought that was the Better Business Bureau.
yeah, they both are. I think Yelp's worse.
Really?
Yeah, I think Yelp's way worse.
Huh.
Because if you stop paying them, they'll take all your good reviews down and leave all your bad ones up.
How is that? How they get a contract to do that?
It's their platform.
Yeah, I know, but that's a little.
Yeah, they're shady as
That's
hell.
that's almost a level of profiling almost.
It's extortion.
Like, yeah, extortion, personal vendetta.
Then they'll do it. But if it's profitable,
Hey, you want to sue?
yeah, right. Well, people have talked about suing, like doing a class action against them, but
How'd that go?
I don't think they've done it yet. I mean, Yelp's partnered with Google.
I was curious because every time you like search a business profile, you used to go down, you have the option to like look at their Yelp reviews.
Mm-hmm.
It's a button integrated into the business profile.
Yeah, it's
so your whole idea was to just not even mess with it.
a lot of people stay away from it, but yeah, I've never tried it because it's like one of those things that once you
start, you can't stop it.
Yeah, once you start, you can't stop.
So if we don't like it, we can't just.
Yeah, because they're gonna try to extort you, but so it's a slippery slope. But if I can't recommend you start it, but if people are making it work, then
it might be worth.
It might be worth. Why would you get off of it then at that point?
If it works, but.
Yeah, if it works, email marketing.
But after our visit with Angie's List, we're kind of hesitant to just pay people.
Yeah, Angie's List luckily never did that.
I know there's so many people on like the Facebook groups and stuff. They're like, "Oh my God, Angie's List is the greatest thing." No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and direct mail. Yeah, 1 to 5% conversion rate. $60 lead cost. That's probably low. Because it's going to cost you it's going to cost you like 70 cents per piece of mail that you send. You're going to have to send it to thousands of people. And then to get a 1% conversion rate would really not be bad. I think the thing with direct mail is you want to offer something that is high ticket or recurring. That way you can recoup that money back. Because if you're only offering a sprinkler repair and your average ticket is $300, you're not going to make your money back on direct mail. You need to offer install or.
Yeah, you got to offer something big.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of HVAC guys do it with new HVAC systems because if you get a 1% conversion.
Yeah, if you're
selling new systems.
Yeah, and new systems like what, 20, 30 grand? That
1%.
Yeah, even if you just converted one.
Yeah.
If you just converted one.
That's when it makes sense.
It's kind of like that new homeowner list that we tried that one time. We converted a couple people off of it and made it worth it.
Yeah.
But the conversion rate on it was probably about 1 to 5%.
Yeah, it's low. It's always low.
I don't know. We probably got 5% off of it. You probably mailed out what, 1,000 postcards?
Often, I don't know. I've done a lot, and they'll hold on to them too. There's a thing.
I know that's another thing that's horrible. If you send them like a coupon for something, they'll just hold on to it. They'll call you like a year later, and they're like, "Hey, I want to do this," and we're like, "That's not valid."
Yeah.
Like, why did you wait so long?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something else we should probably warn people to stay away from. And maybe it's just because we had a bad experience. Maybe the company that was working with us was horrible, but I think we should warn people to be wary of the home services concierge companies.
Oh, I don't even know how many are out there.
I bet you if there's one, there's plenty.
Yeah. Well, tell them about it. I don't remember what that company was called.
Oh, I do. I just don't know if I want it. The Home Pro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things like we got to meet the guys that own the company. They were great, but the process is just horrible because they basically a home service concierge company is a company that, so they'll go out and they'll advertise themselves as like almost like a general contractor. It's like a one and done. So they come to you and they're like, hey, you pay us so much per month. If you have anything wrong with your house, you give us a call and we'll connect you with we'll get you a top rated contractor. It's kind of like the good contractors list, except they do everything for the customer. They make the appointments, they get us out there, they talk to us. So like which is horrible for when you're trying to like, present options to the customer, because you're not presenting them to the customer. You're presenting them to, basically what happens is the guy from that concierge service comes out, you present everything to him, and then he takes it, tacks 10 or 15% on top of it, goes in there and pitches it to the customer, and then you work with them.
Mm-hmm.
It is horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible.
Because most of the time, they don't want you to perform the work that day, and they want to pay you with a check. They want to collect from the customer, and then they want to give you like a check or something.
Yeah, way later.
Yeah,
they'll pay
like
you
a
later.
month later. Like, no, that's not how life works.
They don't fully understand what's going on. So they're trying to make the sale, and they don't really know anything.
Yeah, it's a good concept. It probably does work. Probably for more elderly people, there's situations that it works, but for the few times that we had to mess with it, it did not work. It didn't work whatsoever.
Yeah, we ended up having to drop them.
Yeah, we dropped them. All right.
Yeah,
we won't get into what actually happened.
Yeah, this says local service businesses win or lose in their immediate area, usually within 10 or 15 miles. Research shows that 78% of customers won't travel more than 10 miles for home services. And
home services come to the home.
Yeah,
so how is that a statistic?
But we've had people that they'll ask us where we are, and we tell them where our warehouse is, and they're like, "Oh, that's too far." And we say, "Well, we service your area all the time." And they say, that's still too far." So it's not a lot, but proximity does matter. Yeah, and it's just back into reading reviews. Here's a little flow chart, and I agree with this flow chart 100%. It says start. Do you have 40 reviews? Yes or no? No, focus on reviews. Yes, is your Google business profile optimized? No, fix it. Yes, if it is your website mobile friendly? If it's not, fix that. If it is, are you ready for paid ads? If you're not, build your email list. If you are, start with LSA.
Let's hold on. Elaborate a little bit on build the email list, just so everybody's clear on that.
Just making sure you have all of your customers' email. You can be collecting emails from your website. That way you can do email marketing. You can be offering specials once a month. Just like if you go to a store,
So build your database.
Yeah, building your database, and then
don't just be going out and giving the customer a receipt. Take some information.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you can be sending them emails monthly, every other week. I mean, I get emails from stores that I've been to, like weekly.
Yeah.
That first deal, the first 3 deals you send out, they might not like, but then, some people like this deal, some people like the next one. But I like this flow. This is the right flow. This is the order that everything needs to be done. And this is the order that this is going to go in. So once you have 40 reviews, now you get down in here to optimizing your business profile. This is the number one priority for local visibility. So make sure your business name is exactly the same. Legal business name, exactly on there. You need that. Remove all. So this one I wanted to talk about. Remove all keyword stuffing from business name.
Stuffing.
Just adding whatever your business name plus sprinkler repair and installation and this. Just trying to stuff in all your keywords after your business name.
Yeah, just do a business name.
Yeah, that's what it says. However, there's a lot of people still keyword stuffing. Google is saying that they're not letting that rank, but they are still. So this one's a weird one. We still see people, their business name is just like McKinney Sprinkler Repair. That's not a business name. That's just keywords.
Yeah.
And that's ranking. So that's a weird one. I don't, unless that's your,
Collin County Sprinklers, Sprinkler Repair.
Yeah.
It's not like Conserva Irrigation or Texas Water Boys.
Yeah, right.
That's not a name. Those are keywords.
Those are keywords they're using as a name, but they're all ranking. However, I would not rely on that because there will come a time when Google will shut that down. And then...
Well, yeah, if they're already talking about it, there's a good chance that they're working on it. It's just a slow integration because they can't just not rank everybody. That's going to take a lot of businesses out of the pool.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to tell you just stop being minimal. Put some effort into it.
Yeah.
The customers want to see effort, and Google wants to see effort because they don't want to recommend you if that's all the effort that you can come up with.
Yeah.
Google knows because you have the ability to tell Google what your keywords need to be.
Oh yeah.
Google knows when it's time to show your business when people are looking for specific things.
Yeah, and you'll put your keywords somewhere else.
And it'll take you a little bit. You'll run into some kinks. Like you remember that time for you changed one thing. He changed one thing on our business profile one time. Had absolutely nothing to do for this, and like for a week straight, we got calls about leaf removal.
Yeah, yeah, you have to monitor that stuff too, because sometimes the people will just add services, or you'll just see random services come up on your profile. You have to remove them.
Yeah, we had to remove them, but it's all a growing process.
Keep your years in business. Include family-owned status if applicable. Make sure your primary business category is set. Secondary categories, main services.
Does having the veteran-owned ranked do any good? If you have the ability.
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, this is like must-haves and then nice-to-have. So like family-owned status was nice to have. Primary business categories must-have. Secondary categories are important. You need a main service list.
Well, and it's funny too because people will attract to that family-owned business, but they'll look for corporate qualities.
Yeah,
that's the funny part.
Yeah, they definitely will.
Like they want you to pull up in a fully wrapped van, have a uniform, look all nice, come up with an iPad. That's not typically how family businesses operate. Family businesses are usually really minimal oriented, but people want that, but then they want the corporate qualities.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part, but it works.
Yep.
It's one of those things that makes absolutely no sense that works.
Yeah. Yeah. That is weird. I guess because they think family and then they think low prices.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, that's the easiest thing to think, and I think about that too. But I think the family operated mostly has everything to do with trust.
Maybe so. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm sure pricing is a factor there, but I think the first thing they think when they see family operated is okay, trustworthy.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe that's probably it. Maybe. Yeah. It's like this isn't a massive corporation I'll never be able to get a hold of. This is somebody I'll be able to call and get a hold of.
And and that's another thing. They'll remember me.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big thing. And we struggle with this too, even today, because sometimes there's nothing you can do. But one of the biggest things you can do for your customers, if you have a couple guys, or if it's just you and one other guy, if you go to somebody's house, and the next time they call, don't send your other guy. You go there. You go back there. Because the customer builds a relationship with you. They don't build a relationship with the company. They build a relationship with the person they see.
Yeah.
Even though they know, like even if you're more in a corporate snenario, even though they know that the guy that they're seeing is just the guy that's there to talk to them and do the work, they're not going to build a relation. They're only building a relationship with that person, even if they know that person can't do everything they want to do. That's who they build a relationship. So when they get mad at your company, 9 times out of 10, it's something that guy did. And even though that they know he has nothing to do with you answering the phone, they're going to blame that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even though you have nothing to do with him, you know, throwing a beer can out in front of their yard, you know, that had nothing to do with you. You didn't know that happened. They're going to blame you.
Yeah. Yeah, that did happen. They said some installers of ours did that. And I really don't think that was us. I think they just found a beer can. But it was definitely our fault at the end of the day. Yeah, so going back to this, I mean, making sure your hours are set up, your service area, you need to define service area, visual content, uploading photos all through the business profile, credentials. This says upload licenses. Well, unless you're uploading a photo of your license, there's not really a place to upload a license. Put your accepted payment methods. This is what we don't have set up. Well, we have like maybe one. An FAQ. There's an FAQ section on the business profile. I think we only have like one frequently asked question on there. So if you have a good list of FAQs on there, that would be good. Emergency service information. Let's review management. Monitor and maintain your views quickly. As soon as somebody puts a review, they say respond within 24 hours. Good or bad. If it's bad, I would call them. Before I respond, I'd like to call them because the customer is going to get notified you respond. So if it's bad, I like to try to make contact with them. If it's good, just go ahead and respond. And these are personalized responses. They should not be the same response every time. Regular content updates, making weekly posts. You can post on the business profile, just like Facebook or anything else. Go through here. You got anything to add on that?
No, that's kind of more. That's a lot more you than it is me.
This is just like review templates.
I'm sure that was loud. I'm sorry.
Just post something personal. Oh, one thing I was going to say about that is I don't think that keyword stuffing in your responses helps anymore. I think it used to. I don't think it helps anymore. I think the keywords that the customer leaves in their review is what you want. So if you're asking for reviews, ask them to leave a photo in the review. Ask them to mention the city. Ask them to mention the technician name. Ask them to mention what kind of work we did in their response. But if you try to stuff all that into your response, I really don't think Google is looking at that because it's so easy to stuff keywords into your response and to try to.
Well, that just makes it cluttery. Google doesn't want to see that.
Yeah, and it's easy to game the system. Like, I can just keyword stuff every response, and
that stuff probably worked 10 years ago, but now everything's starting to become more AI oriented. That stuff's not going to work.
No, I don't think it's working anymore. But it says in here to do that, and I don't think that.
Back when search parameters just focused on keywords, now everything's AI controlled. So now it's looking at search parameters or keywords, location, how many times, I mean, let's just face it, how many times it's heard you talk about it with, your fellow peers. I can't tell you how many times I talk about something, then I immediately see an advertisement for it.
Yeah. This says research indicates that most consumers are suspicious of businesses with only 5-star reviews. The sweet spot is between 4.2 and 4.8.
I can tell you, from firsthand field experience that is absolutely correct because we've got a review that all of y'all can see if y'all want to look at it. We've got a review from a long time ago, and we had a guy. There was a lot of unspoken and unseen circumstances that happened here, but the guy ended up writing this big long paragraph of how we were the worst company he's ever dealt with. We provided a bad customer service, bad work, bad quality, bad cleanup process. He took a bunch of pictures and just pretty much just slandered us essentially. And That stuff ended up basically what had happened is there was going to be another appointment for that job, and the guy canceled the second appointment and then just took pictures of all the half done work.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Because he
would come back the next day.
Yeah, because he didn't want to pay is what the problem was. So he decided, well, I'll just slander him all over Google and see what I can do. And I've had customers like, I had one customer for sure. He just was like, man, I just went straight to the 1-star reviews. He was like, I read that one with the pictures and I was just laughing the whole time. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That's what people are doing?
Yeah.
Because it makes you credible, right? Everybody knows that you're going to make a mistake. You can't. There's no way that you can please everybody.
Mm-mm.
Even there's people we give their money back to, and they're still not happy.
Yeah.
So if money was always the problem, we would have a 5-star, a 5.50 rating too every time, because we try to help people all the time. Sometimes you can give them their money back, give them a free estimate or free something. It still doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
There's some people, once they get a bad taste in their mouth, it's not going away.
No.
So, that stuff makes you credible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it says what matters most isn't preventing negative reviews, but handling them professionally. Data shows 45% of consumers say they're more likely to visit a business that responds to negative reviews. And I still see a ton of, I see this all the time, and it really does.
Thank you for your response.
Well, I see it looks shady if you look at, I'll look at other irrigation companies and you're scrolling through reviews and all of the 5 and 4 stars have responses, and then you hit a 1-star and no response.
Yeah, or it's something like, thank you for your response, or we apologize.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to make it personal.
Yeah, you definitely need to make it personal. Yeah, I mean, this says right here, the most effective way.
And you can make it personal with Chat GPT if you want to.
You can. I mean, this says just follow this simple formula for negative. Acknowledge, apologize, take it offline, and make it right. I like to call them first. I'll leave it up. I'll leave a blank 1-star on there for about 24 hours while I'm trying to get a hold of them. And if they haven't called me back, that's whenever I'm going to respond, and I'm going to lay it all out on the review. And hopefully I can.
Yeah, you jump to step 3 first.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get a
Well, you go from 1 to 3 to 2.
Yeah, I mean, because usually I can just call them as soon as it hits. I'm going to call them right then, like right away, and I can talk to him and get it to be taken off. I mean, within the first hour, it's gone, and then I don't even have to respond to it. And that I like that the best. But if they don't respond to you, you're going to have to respond to the review. And it is what it is. Just keep getting good reviews. All right. Optimize your website for conversion. Focus on mobile design first. Put the phone number in the top right. Show reviews prominently. Keep load time under 3 seconds. And local content matters most. Yeah, I do think local content. Picture of the city skyline, maybe. I don't have any of that, but find a way to put some local content in there, maybe on the city pages. Above the fold area is what people will see when they first open. And this is if you're doing your web, all this is going to be if you're making your own website. If you have somebody doing it, they should know how to do all this. But I used to build my own, and I got some of this stuff wrong when I was making it myself. So above the fold here, you got to grab attention. It's the first thing they see when they open their phone. Hero headline clearly states the service and the location. So a good example is 24/7 HVAC repairs in Phoenix. That would be like your headline. Boom, right there. The verses, welcome to our website, or the last irrigation company you'll ever need, because that would be the approach I would take, is trying to do something like smooth like that. But Google doesn't really, this hero headline, like all this, everything for your website has to be optimized to rank. It's optimized for the Google algorithm more than it is for the customer. And that's where I would get it wrong, because I would try to make something that would be like, oh, it's kind of enticing to the customer, but really that doesn't rank well. If you just throw 24/7 HVAC repairs in Phoenix, You think, well, it's kind of played out, but it ranks well. That way, when somebody is searching HVAC repairs near me and they're in Phoenix, you rank for that. That's really all it is. Phone number, top right corner, and clickable. Service areas precisely showcased. You need to have service area pages. Emergency badge. I don't know how many people do emergency services, like 24/7, Saturday and Sunday in irrigation.
Probably not a lot.
No. Unique selling proposition, same day service, or same day service where it's free versus quality service you can trust. What is your USP, unique selling proposition? You need a good image, picture of your team in uniforms versus random stock photos. I see a lot of random stock photos.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you look credible.
No. A lot of people have the same stock photos. I can go to 3 different companies' websites and find the same picture on all 3 websites. And a call to action. These are big. You need a call now. Get a quote. They need something. Fill out this form. You really need them all. So it's, the primary at the top of the page, call us. Secondary, get a quote. That'd be the form. A lot of people are doing the chat, putting chat bots on their website.
Chat boxes can help.
That's all 3. If you have phone number, fill out a form, and a chat bot, you have all 3 ways of communicating right there on your website.
If look at your website. Look at when you are looking at, if you're in business right now and you've got a website, I challenge you to open your website, go to the front page, close your eyes for a couple seconds, and then just for a moment say, I'm a customer, and pretend like you need something from this company. See how easy it is for you to get a hold of them, fill out a form, and then see how easy it is to contact them. One, if it's pretty easy for you to do, then you're probably on the right track. Next thing, see how easy it is for you to get to know that company looking at it. If you can figure out pretty easily that this company might be someone, okay, this is somebody that looks like I can trust, it looks like they know what they're doing, I want to call them, And then just see, and then the third thing, one of the most important things I think about a website is how well does the information flow? Is it all grouped in areas where it's easy for you to keep up with, or is it all cluttered and crammed together where it's hard for you to figure out what you're looking for? Like, do you understand what you're looking at? Just think about it from your own personal standpoint.
Yeah, and these call to actions need to be above the fold. On our website, the form and the phone number is the first thing that pops up. We have the logo. Well, I'm doing mobile.
Yeah.
But on the mobile, we have our logo, the little menu icon, but then you have the phone number and get service right there. Before you even have to scroll. And then as you scroll down, you get a little bit into the services. You just want to make it really easy for them to get a hold of you. Trust signals is a big one. Putting your reviews on your website, badges, like if you're a part of the Good Contractors list here in Dallas, we still have our Home Advisor Elite service, our Thumbtack reviews on there when we're on that, the Better Business showing that we're A+ rated, accredited on there. Putting all that stuff on there. Anything that you have, you can put on there. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, I call this stuff right here. Reviews, Better Business Bureau, Home Advisor, Thumbtack, Good Contractor List. There's your trust signals. mobile responsiveness. It's just loading, loading speed. Everything needs to load fast. If you click on a website and it doesn't load, you're clicking right back off of it. Your customers, you do it, your customers are doing it. It's just what people do. Paid advertising. Now, we've talked about paid advertising before. You still sharing the screen?
No.
Okay. We'll go back to that in a minute. Before you get into paid advertising, get everything else right and make sure. God.
Hey, something to break up your voice.
Thanks.
We can't be too scripted. I mean, we're not reading off a script by no means, but
no.
You're almost too professional.
Am I?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Damn, all right.
But I mean, to be fair, a lot of this information that he's talking about is very important. It's very important that nothing gets missed and it's all explained clearly.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because I see the same questions coming up all the time. Yeah.
Like what?
Well, I still see people asking about how to get on Google, asking about how to, how to do.
Yeah, and all
ads.
You can probably think is that wasn't your first thing.
Yeah. So, and this is going over a lot of this stuff. So before you even get into paid ads, we talked about this in a couple episodes ago, knowing your KPIs. Can you even afford to do ads? If you have a $150 average ticket, you cannot afford to do ads.
No, don't even open Google.
Yeah, don't. I mean, you can do the business profile, but
put signs on the street.
Yeah, focus on sales. Focus on offering options. Increase to get some sales training. Get that average ticket up. It needs to be get it up. It's got to be way up there. I would say at least $400, if not more. I mean, the higher the better, but yeah. And then you're going to have to watch these ad costs to make sure you're not, because they change, they vary. Just why we shut down a pay-per-click, because they jumped up to $70 a click and $300 a conversion. Well, depending on what your average ticket is, will tell you if you can afford that or not. So you really got to know your KPIs, your booking rate, your conversion rate, the average ticket. Know those three things. Then if you want to start off, LSA, that's Google guaranteed. That is the best one to start out with. Those are strictly, they're mostly phone call leads. They do have messaging leads. You're going to have to go through a background check, license verification. They're going to want to see your insurance. You're going to have to upload all this. It takes a couple of weeks to get verified, but
yeah, they're even going to want to have a video chat with you.
They might. Yeah, depending on what industry you're in. I mean, for us, I didn't have to do that. They might be doing it now.
You had to have a video chat with them.
I had to do that from my business profile.
The Google guaranteed.
Not for the Google guarantee. I didn't have to do a video chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to go, because they're guaranteeing your work up to $2,000 is what Google's doing. So a customer can go and file a complaint, and Google will pay that customer. And if that happens, they're going to kick you off the program. But Google's going to act as a mediator between you and the customer. That's why it's the Google guaranteed program. And you'll get a nice little green check mark next to your name.
Yeah, almost like a verification check mark on social media, but
yeah,
better.
Yep. And LSA is what shows up at the very top, even above pay-per-click. This shows up in the number one spot.
Yeah, you can't be Ryan Reynolds, but you can be Google guaranteed.
Yeah. Then, once you do that, you can look at doing some pay-per-click. It's going to be more expensive than LSA, and you need somebody to manage it, because you have to know what keywords you're going for. Your website needs to be on point. If not, you're going to need landing pages. Pay-per-click is a beast. And this says Facebook ad strategy. We talked about that. This says home service businesses typically see cost per lead between $40 and $70. Again, you're going to need to know your KPIs before you can start getting into that. Back here into Yelp.
Yeah, try not to waste too much time on Yelp because
Yeah.
one, nobody cares. Two,
I'm not really going to.
We're approaching the hour.
Yeah, I know this is a long freaking packet. Yeah, I'm not going to go into Yelp. Let's just see.
There's a lot of companies that function very well without Yelp.
Yeah. Response time impact, 45% higher conversion when responding within 5 minutes. 68% of searches are on mobile.
And a lot of this stuff too, you have to do this. You have to think about this stuff one at a time. If you're just starting out, you probably don't need to be thinking about Yelp or home concierge services or getting TV ads. First things first. All right, average ticket. All right, now I need to get on Google. Just one at a time. It's very easy looking at this, 200-page packet you keep flipping here. It's pretty easy to get lost in this stuff.
Yeah, that's why that flowchart. I can go back and finish.
The flowchart was definitely the best thing. I think you should go back to the flowchart and read that one more time, just so everybody to make it clear of how this stuff needs to be stepped out. Once you get the simple stuff out of the way, then this big giant 20-page packet is going to make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a variety of people listening to us here, but I would favor to guess that some of this stuff is going to be for bigger businesses. We're trying to appeal more to the people that are just starting out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'll go back to the flowchart. This will be the last thing I do before I go back to the flowchart. If you spend $1,000 on LSA and get 25 leads at $40 each with a 30% close rate and a $500 average ticket, this is how you calculate your ROI. $1,000 on LSA, 25 leads at $40 each, 30% close rate, $500 average ticket. All the KPIs I told you needed to know. Then you can do that. It would be 25 leads times a 30% close rate times $500 average ticket minus $1,000 divided by, do all that, divide that by 1,000, gives you a 275% ROI. So it's revenue from leads minus ad cost divided by.
Yeah, and that's just with a 30% conversion rate.
Yeah, that's a 30% close rate. Yeah, and that's
a 60% conversion rate's very attainable at that average ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and like we've said in previous episodes, jumping from 30% to 60% is way easier than going from 60 to 70.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because usually what's keeping you from going from 30 to 60 is something simple that you can fix overnight. That's going to be something in your processing or in how you're presenting or how you're pricing things, how you're talking to customers, how you're presenting yourself. Those are all easy things that you can change overnight.
Yeah, very quickly.
Going from 60 to 70 or 70 to 80, those are things that you have to rework into your process that take weeks and months. Sometimes it takes different people. Sometimes it takes spending your money elsewhere. It's just not usually going from 60 to up is not something you fix overnight.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's how you calculate ROI here. One other thing, though, is just make sure you're getting your booking rate, because if you turn on LSA, at $40 each, they're going to charge you $40 every phone call, whether you answer it or not. So don't, just be ready for that. Okay. Because you can get 100 leads at $40 each. It doesn't matter to Google if you only answer 10 of those. And don't book any of them. They're going to charge you. And then you're going to be shutting it off and saying, well, I lost money on this. But let me go find this.
Let's read this flowchart one more time.
All right.
Just so everybody knows.
So you start Do you have 40 reviews? If you don't, get more
'em.
reviews. Once you get them, optimize your business profile. We talked about that. Once that's done, optimize your website. Make sure it's mobile friendly. Then, once you do that, you can decide, are you ready for paid ads? If you're not, work on your email list. And I would also say, work on your KPIs. Get your booking rate up, get your average ticket up, get your close rate up, all this stuff. Then, once all that's done, now you're ready for paid ads.
And now we're ready to make fun of the people on Facebook.
Yeah.
Ready for this? All right, so I believe this is a...
Well, yeah, I think the post is actually pretty important.
There you go.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's really that important, but they're talking about how Hunter is selling the same products that we buy on Amazon. So they're wondering if this makes a difference.
Basically what they're talking about is Hunter's products, whether you buy them from a distributor, a commercial distributor, or if you go on Amazon or you go on eBay or you buy it straight from Hunter, it's the same product. Whereas Rainbird will sell different products to the commercial industry and sell different products to the residential people. So the stuff that you get on Amazon that says Rainbird is not the same as the stuff you go and get from like one of your distributors that you're typically used to using. Like for us, might be Ewing or Site One or something like that. The products that the customer can get or even you can get off of Amazon are going to be different than what you can get there.
Yeah. And before we get into the comments, do you think it matters if a customer can buy, like if we're selling a Hunter rotor, do you think it matters if
here's the thing. Once you get, you'll know when you're close to where you need to be, because what you're going to find is when you're going to your customer, and you can see this with security companies, garage door companies, HVAC companies, I guarantee you I could talk to 10 people that just bought a brand new AC system for their house. And other than the name that's on the thermostat, they don't have a clue what they just bought. They don't know that it's a Carrier or a Train unit. All they know is they probably know they have like a Nest or like a smart thermostat. That's probably about all that they know. They're not going to be able to tell you, oh, I got a Train model, whatever, blah, 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 blah. They don't care. If you're selling, when you go to a customer's house, you're selling yourself, you're selling your service, and you're selling the quality of work. And when you're doing that, the product is almost irrelevant. Now, you can throw some things in there, but chances are when you're replacing customer sprinkler heads, they're not never going to know if they were Hunters or Weathermatics or Toros or Rainbirds, and they don't know where you got them from. They don't care. They know that you told them that you're going to replace it with a good product. You're going to stand behind it. You're going to warranty it. You're going to set it up correctly. You are selling your business and you're selling yourself. The product is a secondary thing. I can tell you this, in all the years I've been doing this, I've had very few people ask me, what brand of sprinkler heads are you going to use? Now, when it comes to a controller, that's a different story, because a controller is something you got to pay attention to, because a controller is something that the customer is going to interact with a lot, so they're going to get to know it. They don't know the difference between a Zern and a Febco backflow. They don't know the difference between a PGV and a non-PGV valve. They don't know. They don't care.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think any of this matters. And even if they ask, hey, what brand sprinkler heads are you going to use? You tell them Rainbird, they're not going to ask the SKU on it. Well, which model?
I've had a few, and I always tell them, like, look, if you want to go to Home Depot and buy the sprinkler, or if you want to get on Amazon and buy the sprinkler for $5, that's fine. Because to me, I'm like, okay, this person's interested in not spending any money. I'm going to make sure that they have the tools necessary to not be calling me again.
Yeah.
There's so many, and that's another thing I disagree with, because I've got some guys doing it. If the customer hits you with I saw this for $10 here, or I saw this for $20 here, tell them, hey, I'm a business. I've got kids. I've got a family. I've got to make a living. If you're not in a position to afford the services, tell them how to do it themselves. Because the last thing you want to do is here. This is what's going to happen. What's going to happen is your guys are going to be rude and say, well, if you're not going to pay for the service, I'm not going to help you. So then what they're going to do is they're going to try to do it themselves. They're going to break something even worse. They're going to call you again. Now you're going to be back out there giving them a higher price, and it's already not going to be a comfortable situation because, now they're pissed off. You're pissed off because you're back. Now you got to hit them with a higher price because they just tried to force a rotor down on the pipe and they broke the pipe now, or they broke something else or whatever it is, or they've got the rotor. They've got no nozzle on the rotor and it's spraying completely over the fence and took the stain off of the fence, and you're having to come behind them and fix it. It's just not going to be, it's never going to be a comfortable situation. You're not going to make any money versus I've had better luck. Just tell them, hey, if you want to change your own sprinkler head, this is how you do it. It's 1/2-inch threads, unscrew it, screw it on. This is how you set it, done. And then if they call you back a second time after that, what I found is, hey, I tried to do it. I tried everything you said. I think I got it, but it's still not quite right. I think maybe now, because then at that point, now they've seen the value. Now they've seen what they're paying for. They're like, okay, I'm not just paying for the product. I'm paying for somebody that knows how to put it in. Mm-hmm. Now that they've got their hands on, now they've seen. I've had customers call me and say, man, and I've been doing this a long time. I don't see how this went this way. I've had people call me and say, man, it took me 6 hours to put the sprinkler head in. I'll never do another one again.
Yeah. If you show them all the tools, all right, you're going to need to buy this tool, riser remover, like this. You show them a couple of tools. I like that. Yeah. One thing I don't like is if they start complaining, well, I can get this at Home Depot.
I just tell them to go get it.
Don't back down on your price, because if you back down on your price and do it for them,
they're going to expect that.
Yeah, they're going to expect.
And you're not just hurting yourself; you're hurting any other person that comes over there. Mm-hmm. How many times a day do you hear, "Well, the last guy did this," and then you have to say, "Well, where's he at?"
Yeah, don't do that.
that mentality came from them doing that. Mm-hmm. When in reality, what it actually probably was is the last guy pretended to be okay with it, matched the price, did it, and said, "All right, if that guy calls, I'm not answering."
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Yeah, don't do it. Just stand firm.
I encourage them, hey, go buy it. I'm not putting it in for that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters because people can look up timers. When you said timers, you put a timer and they can look that up. So it doesn't matter. You see people, you try to keep their name out, but oh well. This guy, we can blast this guy because he's talking about guys get rotors for $10 and sell it for $50, and that's ridiculous. This is contribute to the loss of wholesale price. This is crazy. This comment is nuts. And I'm glad a lot of people are telling him that's nuts because, we're going to sell it for, we're not here to put in a rotor for $20 or
your basic. Okay, let's talk about this from a simplistic standpoint here. Even if you're by yourself, if you are just one person, keep it right there, and you have no dream of growing your business, you're only out just to do this for yourself. If you buy that rotor at $10, when you're doing you're a basic profit margin, what's the word I'm looking for? The basic way you figure profit margin is the way this guy made it simple. When really all he did was say how you figure profit margin. The way you figure profit margin is very simple. Think about if you're in business, especially something with like a rotor, something that you're going to have all the time, something you have to carry with you at all times. You're not just going to be running to the parts house to get a rotor every time you need one. That's not how this is going to work. You're going to buy a box of them. So if each individual one is $10, you need to at least be selling it for $30 because you have to buy it, you have to sell it, and you have to replace it. Mm-hmm. If you just buy it and then sell it, you're never going to get anywhere because every time you sell it, you have to buy it again because, okay, I sold it for 10. Now I got $20. Well, now I got to go buy another one. So now I'm back at $10. You're never going to get anywhere. So you have to at least sell it for $30. And that's just at $30. That's just the markup on the product itself. What about the 30, what about the 10, 15, 20 minutes you spend putting it in, setting it up, making it right, having to run the controller to make sure it's not clogged up, setting it right, showing the customer, hey, I replaced this,
knowing which nozzle to use out of that nozzle tree.
Yeah, knowing that you have to select anywhere between, any one of those tree nozzles on the tree. I mean, just selling the product, $30. That's just to sell the product. What about your labor? Your labor should be worth something.
Yeah.
Really, $50. I mean, nobody should be cheaper than $50 on a rotor.
Yeah, I
really?
like this guy right here. 75 per rotor installed.
Yeah. 75 is probably about where you want to be, but nobody should be below 50. Absolutely not. This guy thinks 50 is ridiculous. I don't know what he's doing. He's not getting anywhere.
No.
Not fast anyway.
Yeah, more people. I would never provide a price to a customer. They're paying for the result only. That's it. You could give them you can give them what part you're putting in, but you can tell them whatever you want to, but they're still paying for the result. That's it. Let's see anything else in here. But yeah, this stirred up a big. There's like 120 something comments. This is why our pricing is focused on labor. Yeah, and you got to carry that. You got to have everything carried with you.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If Hunter chooses to sell the same product across the board, that's up to them. I'm sure there's a science to this, but if you're going out selling different products to customers, you're probably not quite on the right track.
I don't know what this means. If you make more than 50 cents on a product, you are ripping them off.
What? I think he's talking about Hunter themselves, not...
Maybe. Yeah, if a customer is that type, I don't want them.
Exactly. Either you trust me or you don't.
Yeah. What is this one here? Well, it seems like a lot of people here are on our side. I thought there'd be more people. But that's good. I'm glad people are on our side. Seemed like maybe that guy was an outlier. Because nobody should be selling I don't think any head should be less than $50. Not if you're trying to grow. Yeah, don't use customer supply parts. Except maybe a controller. You're still going to charge them for the install. And you're not warranting that controller either. Yeah, good. Looks like everybody's on the right.
No, that guy's putting the product in there like, hey, here it is.
But overall, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if they know the price. Who cares? They can know the price. Think about what does it cost to make a pizza? 50 cents for a large pizza is like what, 50 cents for some dough, tomato sauce, cheese, some pepperoni. They sell a large pizza for like $18. What's the markup on that? Takes very little time to make it. Yeah, well, all right. Guess that was it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess hopefully everybody learned a little something today, and we'll catch everyone on the next episode.
All right, see ya.
See ya.